Wow, I'm like really coordinated with my background today. Hey folks, it's Carrie from Pretty Neat. Thanks for joining me. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, I hope that you'll do so. I share videos here every week about organization and decluttering and just making your space the best it can be. So I hope that you'll stick around. Today I want to talk about a topic that's maybe a little bit depressing, but winter is coming. If you live in a place where the seasons change like I do, this is a big transition time of the year, and it's a time when we really need to change our wardrobe dramatically. So I live in central New York. We are known for having very harsh winters. I actually live in the city of Syracuse, which often wins the Golden Snowball Award. It's awarded to the city in the area that has the most snow for the season. So it's a very harsh winter here, bottom line, and what I wear in the winter is pretty much completely different from what I wear in the summertime in terms of, footwear and how many layers I have to have on and all of that. So it's really an optimal time of year to assess my wardrobe, take a look at what I'm gonna need for the season coming up, take a look at what I don't need anymore from the previous season, and really just make sure that I'm ready to go when the snow starts. So if you're transitioning your wardrobe from summer to winter, this is a perfect time to actually assess your summer wardrobe. Before you just put everything away or move it to that back area of the closet, take a look at your summer clothes and ask yourself what you wore, what you didn't wear, and what are you likely to wear in the future. If you have clothes that you didn't wear all summer this past year, how likely are you to wear them next year or any other year? It's probably a very slim chance that you're going to do that. So I think this is a great time to assess that summer stuff. Where I live, summer is a very short season and I don't need a lot of summer gear, but where you live, that may be different. So you can take all of that into account, but really take a look at the things that didn't get used or didn't get worn this past year and maybe consider donating a few of those items. The next thing you want to do when you're transitioning your wardrobe from summer to winter is to take a look at what you have for winter and ask yourself if you're fully prepared for the season that is to come. Things may have changed in your life since last winter. That was a long time ago. God knows all of our lives have changed pretty dramatically from last winter to this winter just because of the pandemic. So this year, your life may be looking a lot different than it did. A lot of people are working from home, either exclusively or part of the time. And so your winter wardrobe may not need to contain as many formal or work appropriate clothing than it did in the past. On that same token, if you're working a lot from home, you might need warmer casual wear that you wear at home because you're spending a lot more time in those types of outfits. So again, take a look at what you have for the season coming up and ask yourself if you have all of the things that you need and maybe make yourself a shopping list for things that are missing. During the change of seasons, I think it's a great time to take a look at your wardrobe as a whole and ask yourself if it really works well together, if the different pieces that you own, if they make outfits with the other things that you have. Take a look at the colors of the clothing that you have and ask yourself if you have a lot that can work together in outfits. There is an approach called a capsule wardrobe, and this is not something that I have really done in a formal way, but I've taken some inspiration from it. The idea of a capsule wardrobe is that you create a very small curated wardrobe for a season out of your entire collection of clothing. So you might go through and select maybe 30 to 40 items that will basically be the clothing that you choose from for the next 3 months. This is typically how a capsule wardrobe is structured. And it's basically a way of making your decision making much easier by only having a smaller grouping of clothes to choose from on a daily basis. So I have not limited myself to a specific number of clothing items per season or anything like that. But the point of the capsule wardrobe that I have taken a real lesson from is that when you create a capsule wardrobe, all of the pieces really need to work together. You're trying to select items that you can make the maximum number of outfits out of the minimum number of pieces. And years ago, when Marie Kondo's book came out, the Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, I'll link to that book down below. It's a great book. When her book first came out, I did a huge wardrobe purge where you take everything out of the closet, everything out of all of your closets, lay it out, and really assess what pieces bring you joy and which pieces really don't. And when I did that big assessment of my wardrobe as a whole, I made an interesting discovery. I saw that I had a lot of pieces that were kind of in a singular color scheme. It was a lot of like blacks and grays, neutrals, with some like blues and burgundies and purples and greens, kind of colors on the cooler end of the spectrum. And then I had just very few items on the warmer end. Now I'm saying this and today I'm wearing warm colors, so I have brought some of these in. But when I did that assessment, I saw that the majority of my wardrobe kind of fell into a general color palette that all worked well together. And then I had this much smaller segment of pieces that really only worked with one another. It was like this little subset of colors that I could only wear together. It was kind of an epiphany for me where I said, oh, why don't I just get rid of this little small subset? Because it's really just complicating my life when I need to get dressed. So my point in this is to take a look at your wardrobe, not just piece by piece, but take a look at it as a whole and ask yourself if the items that you own work together and allow you to make a lot of different outfits out of the things that you own. And there might be a couple of things that you could add in, maybe an extra layer or something that would allow you to bridge the gap between some of those pieces. So when you're swapping out your summer clothes, take a few minutes and do this, and you might be surprised how you could improve your wardrobe by either paring down some things that really don't work with anything else, or maybe adding in a couple pieces that could help you make some additional outfits with the pieces that you do own. So if you do live in an area where you're going to need cold weather gear, like heavy coats and gloves and scarves and boots and all of that stuff that I need, this is a great time before the weather turns really harsh to take a look at those things and again, do an assessment, see if you have everything you need and see what condition those things are in as well. And if you have kids, this is also a good time to check out their cold weather gear and see if they've outgrown anything, if they need new boots or new gloves or whatever the case may be. So take some time now to figure out what you're going to need in terms of your winter gear, rather than waiting until it's an emergency and it's snowing outside. This is a good time to figure those things out and pick up the items that you're going to need before it really starts getting bad outside. As far as storing your summer clothes during the winter time, this really depends a lot on how much space you have. For some people, it makes sense to take those things out of the closet, put them in bins and really tuck them away, or maybe you have some under the bed storage that you can put your summer things away. Personally, I have a decent amount of closet space, but one thing that I do is I reserve the space that's most easily accessible for the items that are in the current season. So when I open up my closet, those items that are right in front of the door opening are the things that I'm going to be currently wearing for this season. And there's some additional space towards the back that's a little bit more hidden, and I will take the pieces that I really only wear in the summertime and I tuck them back there. And this just allows me to make the best use of that space to access things most easily, the things that I'm gonna need during the winter season. And it also helps with my decision-making process. I'm not flipping through all of my summer tops looking for a sweater when I can just have those really out of the way, and I'm only considering the items that are appropriate for the current season. So I hope those tips for transitioning your closet from summer to winter were helpful. If they were, please hit the like button. It really helps out my channel. And don't forget to subscribe. I post new videos here every week about decluttering your home, keeping it organized, and just making your space the best it can be. Talk to you soon.